Bell westbound before the Alex Fraser northbound on-ramp and in the left lane.
No worries.
Just to you, yeah. I'll watch your backside.
Cool, thanks, buddy. Shoehorned me in as far as they could. Morning, guys. So I am on my first of 3 ferries today. Actually, I think we're just about docking in Langdale on the Sunshine Coast here. It is after 8 o'clock, so yeah, we should be just about there. Yeah, I've got another 2 ferries ahead of me now. I left the house at about 5:45 this morning. And on a side note, if any of you guys live in the valley there and make the commute into Vancouver down Highway 1, I give you guys credit, because morning rush hour through there is an exercise in frustration. Like, I gave myself plenty of extra time and I still barely made the ferry. I normally do this one of 2 ways. I either leave right after work, catch the last ferry out, and then sleep in the truck in Powell River there, or I leave first thing in the morning and then do a 3 ferry hop in the morning, and I'm usually on the island by 1 o'clock. But with the new baby at home, I chose to spend the extra night at home, so I spend a little more time at home if I can. And then I've got 3 days coming up chasing blacktails over on Texada. It is supposed to be absolutely disgusting the next couple days. It's heavy rainfall and wind warning for tonight. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain probably 40 to 50 millimeters. And then Friday, ease up a little bit, but still 20 millimeters of rain. Saturday, same thing. So we'll see. Luckily, blacktails don't mind rain, so this hopefully won't impact me too much, besides my comfort level as far as being out in the rain all day long goes. Hopefully it'll still be a good weekend. The dates were the dates. I couldn't change them around. I've got work covered. I've got a couple other moving parts that had to fall into place to make this work, so we're gonna make the most of it and hopefully get some luck. I'm allowed 3 off that island, so either 2 does and a buck or 2 bucks and a doe. It is a management hunt. I usually try and take at least 1 doe out of there, because the whole point of the hunt is to knock the population down, because there are no natural predators on that island. Hopefully the action is decent despite the weather, and we'll see what we can make happen this weekend. All right, catch you guys in a bit. Hey guys, how you doing? So I'm on ferry number 2 of 3 right now. It is about 10:45 right now. So I just figured I would touch base and just go over a couple things. Like I said earlier in the video, the weather this weekend is gross. It's supposed to rain heavy the next 3 days. Looking at the winds right now, it looks like it's gusting about 53 kilometers an hour, which should be about 32 miles an hour right now. So it's going to be difficult hunting conditions, to say the least. But at the same time, that is very much West Coast weather. You know, I've been pretty fortunate the last couple of years. The weather hasn't been too bad, minus a day or two. But this year looks like that's kind of what I'm working with. It's just going to be gross the entire time I'm over there. I'm going to get dumped on. It's going to be windy. So I mean, there's upsides and downsides to it. Bright side is blacktails don't mind it too much because that's where they live. This is the habitat they're used to. And the other good thing is wind and rain help, mask some of the smell and some of the sound that you'll make going through the woods. On the flip side, it also means that they're going to be a little more wary because they know that they can't hear and smell as well as they normally might be able to. The timing that I normally work out as far as going over here goes, I try not to go over right in the middle of the peak rut. I find by that point, the bucks have found their does. They're kind of hunkered down. They don't want their does to get swiped from them. So until they kind of do their thing, you're not, they're out and about, but they're not moving around as much as they are pre-peak rut. So I like that kind of week time frame right before they kind of pair up. They're still cruising around pretty heavy. They're looking for does. They're looking to kind of mark their territory and pick their area. That's when I find that I find them out in the open. They're out cruising around. You'll find them in the middle of the day. I kind of try and time my trip that way. It's different every area of the country, every area of this province. You'll find that it's going to be different. They're going to run at a different time of year, and every year is going to be a little bit different. But give or take, I find kind of within a week or so, the dates are pretty consistent where I go. So that's what I plan for. So when I get over there, the first thing I'm going to do is try and figure out where the does are. That's the key thing. If I find the does, I find the bucks, right? So once I've kind of hammered down where in the areas that I generally hunt that they're still out and moving around, I'll focus on those areas, and then I'll figure out what the feed source is in that particular area at that moment in time, the most likely bedding area, and then I'll try and kind of set myself up in between the two and try and catch them going back and forth. With the weather like this, you're not going to generally find them out in the open too much, I find anyway. But if you can kind of narrow down the area that they're in, they don't move far. So it's going to be a lot of still hunting, a lot of moving really slow, keeping my eyes and ears open. I mean, there's definitely going to be an element of luck involved with being successful this weekend, but that's part of the fun of chasing these ghosts of the mist, right? Just wanted to give you an idea of what's going through my head right now as I'm kind of planning out this week, and then I'll touch base once we're over there. And like I said, hopefully we can make something happen this weekend and be successful. But we'll see. The odds are kind of stacked against me. So. All right, guys, how you doing? So, update. I missed the 12:15 ferry. That actually ended up going 5 minutes ago at about 1:15, so about an hour late. But I missed it by, let's see if you can see this, 3 vehicles. So, it's the luck I'm having so far. Oh well, is what it is. I'm gonna have some lunch here. I got some homemade chili and a bun that I made yesterday. So, is what it is. I'm gonna have some food. Apparently the 3:45 is supposed to be on time. So I will be over there this evening. I may squeak in an hour or two before I go to where I'm camping. And then set up in the dark, I guess. And try it all tomorrow. But fingers crossed. Wish me luck. We'll see what happens. So what do you do while you're waiting for your delayed ferry and you're sitting here twiddling your thumbs? You can't hunt, so
Both the bucks were pretty good sized deer, so
you watch other people hunt. 8 o'clock in the morning, just before 8 o'clock in the morning on morning 2. It was absolutely pouring and windy this morning, so there was no point in getting up for first light. So it's died off right now. I've got myself squared away. I'm just gonna have some breakfast and grab a coffee to go. And then I've got a couple spots I'm gonna check out where I saw some action last night. So hopefully everything's been hunkered down. It's a new moon tonight, so there's pretty well no moon last night. With the weather, I think everything was kind of hunkered down. So hopefully they're up and feeding this morning. We can run into something, but. So I'm wandering down this trail here, and I want to show you guys what you're looking for. But just off to the side of the trail here, something got my eye. Bring your ears in here, especially during the rut. This is what you want to be looking for. Decent size rub for a blacktail. And so these are what you're looking for. These are your signs that there's a buck in the area. It's cruising around. It's looking for does, marking its territory. Means I'm not wasting my time in this spot. Hey guys, I just want to show you. Sometimes these rubs can be pretty subtle. This one's a little older. It's still from this year, but it's a little bit older. So you just notice the subtle difference in the color. And I feel it. Zoom in. There's an older one there. That's probably from last year. So it's obviously a higher traffic area. There's probably more than one competing buck is what we're looking at here. So it's a little tricky in a place like this where there's a fair number of deer. So deer sign doesn't always mean that there's deer close by. So especially during the rut, this is far more useful than looking at eaten shoots or anything like that. So another thing to point out, guys, as I kept walking this pipeline cut here, and I've come up to another stand of trees, probably 200 yards down, and these trees are completely clean. There's nothing on them. So that might not seem like much, but that tells me that with the amount of traffic that was at that other spot, and the multiple rubs from multiple different dates, that the traffic is crossing the pipeline cut there. It's not traveling the pipeline cut. Otherwise, they'd be marking as they go. And nothing in this stand of trees or anything up to this intersecting path here. And intersecting paths is another spot where you'll normally find them. So it's telling me that they're crossing the path up there. So that's handy information, so I'm not wasting my time cruising up and down a pipeline cut that they're not traveling. Mid-morning update. Probably walked 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers of a pipeline cut this morning. That's where the rubs I saw were. So those looked alright. The area looks promising, but there's nothing up and moving in there right now. So I wandered farther up, checked out a pretty big L-shaped block that I know. Same story, nothing moving around. And so that little bit of sunshine we had this morning has kind of faded off. And the wind's picked up, it's starting to blow a little bit of mist in now, so I've got a feeling this afternoon's going to be nowhere near as nice as this morning was. That's alright, I'm going to wander on out. It's about 10 to 12 right now, so I've given it an honest effort this morning. I'm going to wander out, grab some food, grab a drink, and then regroup for the afternoon. How cool is that? Just sunning himself on the end of that rock skip. You ever feel like you're being followed? Different section of beach. About 1.5 kilometers up from where the last one was. Now there's 6 stooges. Good morning, guys. So it was the morning of day 3. Yesterday just didn't really pan out too much. Saw a few more deer in the afternoon when the weather kind of got a little bit better. But all does which weren't open yet until today. So I had actually a really big doe full broadside at 25 yards, which would have been perfect if it was today, but that's just the way she goes. This morning the weather is just nasty. We had another weather front roll in. It's funny, last night you could see every star, you could see the Milky Way. This morning it's blowing hard enough to rock the truck, and it's just absolutely coming down in sheets. So I am, as you can tell, it's pretty cold this morning too. So I'm sitting in the truck right now. I'm trying to stay dry as long as I can here. So I've got the old jet boil going. I have quick breakfast, make myself a coffee, and then hit the road. It's my last full day here, so I'm going to see if I can't make something happen. Struck out this weekend, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Saw lots of deer despite the weather. Saw quite a few shooter does, 4 does opened, and saw 2 shooter bucks, but both of them were on private property. So that's just the way it goes. But if I only showed you guys successful hunts, you'd start to think this was all too easy. The flooding and road closures basically killed the rest of my season down here on the mainland, but I'll be back on the rock mid-January for one last try at the late archery season. See if we can't get a deer in the freezer by the end of the year. For the rest of you, hopefully you got out this season, had a little bit better luck than I managed to. And as always, stay safe out there, have fun, and I'll catch you on the next one.